Hello and welcome to Watch What Crappens, a podcast about all that crap on Bravo that we just love to talk about. This is part 2 of the recap. If you missed part 1, go check out your podcast feed. It's right there. And without further ado, let's get right back into the recap.
So, Kristen is asking Nina what she thought of everything. And Nina's like, so satisfying. You know, it's like what you feel when you go to Granny's house.
And I don't know why that's funny to me, but she's like, yeah, it's beautiful, kind of stick to your ribs. You want to sit there for hours and hours and just talk, which is sort of what we're doing while we wait for Schwei to just say something to us.
I know. I'm kind of jealous of, I mean, look, I had 2 amazing grandmothers. Both were just fantastic. But sometimes when they talk about grandmothers on food shows, I feel jealous because like my Lebanese grandmother, let me tell you what dessert was. She would go into this fucking freezer in her other room, you know, her second freezer. It was like one of those big chest freezers. And she would pull out candy from like 1960. She would just save shit from Pick and Save and put it in her freezer. And when it was time, she'd give you like 50-year-old candy. And it was never good. It always tasted like freezer burn. So I get jealous of these people who are like, oh my God, it's just like Granny's homemade desserts, etc. The other one, the Mima boiled us beef every week. Boiled it.
Yeah, I think that like we have to accept the fact that like not all grandmothers serve amazing food. Actually, I had my grandma Sally, not a great cook. There's like stories about how bad her food was, but like I am too young to remember how bad her food was, but she was like really good at making something called mandel bread, which was actually an almond bread. And then because actually my name Mandelker, I think it means like almonds essentially. So mandel bread. I mean, we didn't invent mandel bread, but that's the mandel.
You did invent almonds.
I invented almonds. By the way, everyone, I just want you to all know I invented almonds. I'm literally writing about almonds in my next newsletter, actually. So that's a little bit of a tease, as we call it. But my grandma Sylvia was a good cook. And the thing, though, that I remember that she made that was the best, oddly enough, and she made a lot of things, but the only thing I really committed to memory was she made a killer French toast. Ugh, I loved when Grandma Sylvia made me French toast, and she made good peas too. And I don't normally like peas, but her peas were good. But yeah, but either one, it was never like going to Granny's house and getting that feast. And oh God, can't wait for that big Granny spread. It was never like that for me either.
Yeah. I'm like, did your grandma hit you with a fly swatter and tell you to get the fuck out of the room? Well, welcome to Mima's. Okay. She never said the F word there. So Tom's like, well, you know, the desserts, I mean, there was some charm, I guess, to this whole thing. I mean, the concept carried through, but there was just small technical issues, dragged some of the dishes down. You know, it's like, I don't know, Gail's outfits. Hey.
Hey, Tom, that was uncalled for. This is supposed to be a safe space now that Padma's dead.
So you can't pull it off, living person.
Until you can explain your jorts, Tom, stay away from the fashion jokes. So Janet's like, well, maybe I'm going to be a little bit of a nitpick here with Schwei, but when you approach the table and someone says, how are you? And you say, I'm tired, don't tell me anything that isn't positive about that and about the customer. And in fact, don't tell me anything about you. I don't care who you are. You are a vessel. Just hand me food.
Yeah. So then we go to Flora and Pafana, and Massimo's like, hello, it's the chef, hello, it's me, Massimo, hello, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. This is a time step. This is juggling. I'm juggling Gorgonzola. They're like, okay, this is too much of a greeting. Jesus Christ. Can we get the center bear, please? Just right.
The definition of hospitality for me is the way Henry Hill and Karen Hill felt when they walked into that restaurant in Goodfellas. And within 5 seconds, they would be serving all sorts of food. It also explains why I hired a helicopter to menacingly fly overhead for when people leave the restaurant and everything falls to shit. Thank you.
So they're like, wow, well, he said hi. And Tom goes, well, yeah, but he didn't give the same touch to the group in front of us. Notice that. Huh? So regular people get treated like shit. Only celebrities get treated well here. Huh? See that? Tom hates Massimo, and I'm living for it.
Yeah. I love that's like for the first time ever in 22 years when the judges give when the chefs give the judge special service. This is the first time Tom cares about it. I mean, what about the people? I mean, you didn't give wine to the other people. I mean, what's going on here? We're all the same.
So Massimo comes straight to their table. He's like, welcome to Fauna, Flora, whatever. Massimo's. Welcome to Massimo's. Okay? Where we celebrate land, soil, pasta. We're going to celebrate pasta at some point. You know that, right?
Kristen's like, I'm excited about this menu, and there are some buzzwords that I like. I love a consomme. Please tell me this consomme comes with wet nuts, preferably in a dessert form.
Oh my God. One of Gail's husband's least favorite words. Consummate.
Please tell me consomme with every dish, please. So Massimo is saying everything's going great and everything. And then he's like, so, how long are you in town for, chef? And Nina's like, I leave on Sunday. Are we really having a conversation right now? We're not supposed to be doing this. He's like, oh, okay. So you're in town for a while. Yeah. And then Janet's like, I'm just in town for a few days and just enough to eat some delicious food. And, the time limit for this conversation has expired. I'm going to have a nitpick with you very shortly. Thank you. Like,
it's very awkward conversation and also like super, awkward questions. Like, how long are you in town for? She's like, I leave on Sunday. Good. You want to go to a movie? I like movies. You like water fountains? Let's go check out a water fountain. All right, Toots? All right, what about you? Huh? What about you, Janet? What about you? She's like, I'm just here to eat some food. Okay. You sure you don't want to date? We could do something. I mean, come on. It's like, don't ask those questions. Don't ask me about my personal life. I don't want to talk to you. You talk to me.
Yeah. I don't, this is not how it works. So, he's like, okay, I'll be back with some food. And Gail's like, well, Massimo is a character. Am I right? And they're all like, fuck this guy. So then he goes, and Massimo's also, by the way, when he's talking to them, I believe he's also kneeling down, or is he kneeling? Either way, he's kneeling down at other tables.
He immediately gets down on his knees and puts both of his arms flat on the table and then like puts his head on his arms like, what's up? What's up? I'm just a cute little man. Ugh.
Are we in a TGIFs? What is happening here? I hate the kneel down, arms on the table thing. Ugh.
I hate it. It's like, we're not best friends. Give me my goddamn food. By the way, I was guilty of this a lot as a waiter.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you were young. But Janet, you know who doesn't like it? Janet. She goes, I mean, the kneeling down, the resting on the table. I like to be a little bit more buttoned up and professional. Or what's the word I'm trying to use? I don't like when waiters are so annoying and terrible, intrusive.
So Lana comes out with the first course, cured and smoked trout, and then a pot liquor consomme with a little bit of chiffonade, collard greens, and crispy trout skin. So then Tristan brings over his mushroom escovitch, grilled Ontario mushrooms, a little ajo blanco at the bottom, and then the broth is made from dawa dawa and some beautiful bay scallops in there as well. So he says we're veg forward, but a little essence of everything. So far we're not veg forward. I just like to say, except for this mushroom. The mushroom I think was, but I think I don't know. You're serving salmon. You're serving salmon and scallops, and what's the other thing?
I guess it's still I guess it's more like there's a large vegetable presence, but maybe not vegetable forward. Maybe vegetable side by side at this point.
Yeah, I don't get how this passed as a vegetable forward. Yeah.
Well, Kristen couldn't be happier because it was a consomme. It's like, I just live for consomme. This consomme is beautiful. Nina really enjoyed the broth. She didn't love the vegetables being raw, but Kristen's like, but the consomme itself was just great. I thought it was stunning. I said, at the beginning of the season, I said, someone please serve me a consomme. And for it to happen in the middle of Restaurant Wars.
It's interesting how they changed it up from when they're judging right now to the end, because she's like, yeah, I mean, the broth was good, but the greens were raw. The chiffonade was hard to eat. The chip was good. So she said it like, this wasn't good, but I did like this one thing and kind of this sauce or whatever. But then by the end, they're like, brilliant dish. Every single thing about it.
I know.
Just amazing.
Consomme. It was the consummate consomme. So then Janet is like, Tristan's dish I really loved. He managed to do something that was a juxtaposition of subtle and light, yet rich and savory.
Poor and homely.
Trying to find something.
I'm sorry, we're just going to do this all night. So let's do Gail Ann's. Stringy haired and tushy. Anyone else?
Subtle and light. Two concepts that Gail has never been fond of. Sorry, everyone. I just got so distracted by Virginia Woolf. She's juggling right now in the middle of restaurant wars up here. It's very off-putting.
She's already drunk, by the way. So Tom's like, well, Tristan's dish is just beautiful. Just beautiful. He's got finesse. He knows when to do it. And I'll bet he wouldn't try to make me a cosmopolitan on Father's Day. So that helps. And Kristen's like, yeah, I appreciate that they're explaining their dishes. And Gail's like, well, but not one person but Schwei came out to us on the other team, which is fine. I mean, I guess that's fine.
We're still really holding a Schwei grudge over there in the new restaurant. She's like, remember when we were over there at Mama Lipone or whatever it was called? And Schwei didn't even say hi to us. Still angry about it. Still angry.
Oh, Gail holding on.
Yeah, then we have the second course comes. Lana has this pithavier. It was basically like a puff pastry with veggies in it, and that's fine. That's veg forward. But then because it has the lamb jus, but that's it. But then Vinny, this was the biggest. This was like really. This is a violation. He's like, okay, I made you a confit butternut squash served with some grilled pork. It was giant slabs of pork in the center of the dish with like a little squash on the side, like little squash earrings on the pork.
Yeah. He's like, we wanted to give you a little bit of protein, but wait, can I ask about Lana's dish? It was just lamb jus, but then what'd they do with the lamb that came from it?
Well, because normally this dish, I think that they said at some point, this dish is normally served with like a meat filling. And so they did a vegetable filling for this kind of puff pastry cake. But are you saying what do they do with the lamb that they made the jus with? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You'll have to ask Gail because she got there first, unfortunately. Bless her heart.
They saved it for Gail to use as mouthwash later. So Vinny serves his veg forward pork dish, which is ridiculous. And then Kristen compliments Lana's technical work, and Tom's like, yeah, the dough is slightly raw. I mean, it was like Gail in food form. Well, it could have been cooked a little bit more, but it's tasty, so that's good.
Yeah, it's like Gail when she finds out the 7-Eleven sold out of Charleston shoes. She's a little bit raw about it.
So Nina loved Vinny's pork, and the squash was amazing. It was breathtaking squash, guys. And Janet's like, how do you get squash to taste that amazing? Oh my God. Now the low point on the dish, it was still executed well, was the pork. But God, low point pork. That's what I call it.
Well, we call this sandbag pork. You tie it onto something and it drags everything down. Oh, you mean Gale pork? Yes, I'm familiar with the term.
So then Massimo comes by, and Tom's like, well, there was as much pork on the plate as there was, and Massimo walks away again. And Gail's like, okay, well, we just can't have a conversation here, I guess. I almost missed Schwei ignoring us, because that was a lot. How Massimo came over here, can we get a break? Geez, it's always Massimo. I would like to talk about pork. Pork is my favorite subject.
I actually got a 5 on my AP pork test in high school. And Tom is like, do you feel like you're being handled? She goes, yeah, I feel like we've been overtouched a little bit at this point. Wow, that's a first, Gail. Am I right? So Tom is... So Tom's like, yeah, there was as much pork on the plate as there was squash on the plate. And you're telling me this is veg forward. And yet, all that dish didn't come through. You might as well call it pork forward. I don't understand it. It's like, it's like you're going to a parking lot and they say park over here. But instead of saying park over here, they're saying pork over here. See what I'm doing there? See what the joke is?
Am I porking or parking? What's the deal?
It's time for a commercial. It's time for a Crappens commercial.
So now Flora and Fauna are complaining about being hungry and not having menus or food. Everything's falling apart, but Massimo's just walking around confident as hell, Yeah. And he's like, well, things go bad. I make sure it's normal. That's what I do. So he's apologizing to tables. And meanwhile, at Nona Pipon, they're running low on tres leches, and they had to put out extra churros instead. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun. And then back at Flora and Flana, Massimo brings out his dessert, which is that corn ice cream with the blueberry thing. It has like a little blueberry hat on it. It's like a crisp of blueberry. It's like a fascinator on it. And then Tristan I love Tristan. I really do. He's clearly going to win this whole show because he wins every single week. He's great. He's wonderful. He's cooking under extreme emotional duress at the moment. Like he's really being a champion. His dessert looks delicious, looks truly delicious. But you know what my issue is going to be with it, don't you? You know where I'm going with this. You know where I'm already getting annoyed. I cannot stand chocolate soil. Like, this is the stupidest culinary trend. It's been around for a few years now, where you get dessert and someone makes like a chocolate crumble and calls it a chocolate soil. First of all, why are you calling it a chocolate soil? Like, yes, it looks like soil, but why do you have to take me there? I don't need to eat like a chocolate dirt. Also, like, it usually doesn't taste that good. It's usually kind of like a dry crumble that doesn't really help anything. It's just kind of like, wow, I made something that looks like dirt, so I'm going to call it a dirt. And when you eat it, you'll find it's not dirt, but it's actually chocolate. But it still tastes kind of crumbly, like the texture.
It also looks just like chocolate powder, like cocoa powder. It doesn't even look like anything but that. It looks like you just like drizzled some cocoa powder on there.
It's stupid. And the other thing, it's like, I think my two least favorite things are chocolates. It's like a soil, a quote unquote culinary soil, or a study. Because I remember one time seeing one of these shows and someone brought out a dish. It was like a long dish and had 3 versions of like the same, like of using an ingredient. And like, this is a study in prosciutto. And I was like, oh, Jesus.
Study in prosciutto? Oh, God. My big pet peeve is a foam. I hate a foam. They look like spit. They're always gross. I just think they're disgusting. They never come out foamy. They always come out like I hate those. But he didn't do that. He did do the dirt chocolate, however. And then he did some caramelized parsnip with sherry vinegar for a touch of acidity to bring that vegetable forward. Now, to me, this sounds disgusting. Chocolate custard with parsnips and acidity sounds gross. Sorry. But they like it. Kristen calls it.
They like it. It works.
Yeah.
It works. So, Kristen said, like, Massimo's dessert was stunning. It was like the consomme of dessert. And those plump blueberries, I mean, that could have been a dessert in and of itself. And Janet's like, yeah, the corn is subtle, but it's just so creamy. It's so perfectly made. And I smashed the beet with energy. Oh yeah, because Massimo did a whole thing about like, you have to smash it with energy and then become one with the universe. So he had such a ridiculous preamble about his dessert.
Everybody liked Tristan's dessert, and Gail's like, the parsnip adds like a little bit of sweetness, but it tastes very balanced. One thing Gail's never been on a teeter log.
We always say, Gail, get off that log, and she says, no, I'm gonna do it anyway. Well, brings new meaning to the word timber.
So Tom's like, well, these aren't pastry chefs, but it was executed well. So, and Nina's like, cohesive, very cohesive. So now Vinny's like, God, we put so much pressure on ourselves because we wanted to perform for Tristan after his bad news. God, it's so difficult for Tristan, but he did it. He made it through, which is true. Tristan nailed it. And even though he put sherry vinegar on a dessert and dirt, I'll forgive it because he's had a rough day. But Kristen is, so now they're debating on what they like. And they think that Flora and Fauna basically delivered, but the other one was kind of a fail. Let's face it. This one wasn't very confusing.
It was pretty obvious at this point who was going to lose. Although I like that Janet's like, yeah, it was very sophisticated, very elevated. I just wanted that to be mirrored in the service. I mean, that was, if I have to see one more waiter on his knees talking to me from below my water glass, I'm literally going to leave this entire industry.
Yeah. She's like, if I ever have a dining experience compared to Goodfellas again, I'm never coming back to the show. But otherwise, good.
So they go to judge's table. And Tom's like, oh, so each team had an idea of what the restaurant should be. And I really believe that it was, in both cases, supported really well with your food, with your service, with your style. And I think that's the mark of a good restaurant. You know, you say who you are and you support it. And of course, by both restaurants, I mean, only one really did it. The other one was a total failure. But we'll try to lift them up a little bit before we just savage them to pieces.
Okay. One of you smelled good. One of you smelled rancid. Guess who it is? Not going to tell you yet, but we're going to find out. Okay. Some of you are better suited to just pooping on yourselves and being thrown out of houses. Okay. Padma? Yeah. Padma? So,
I guess one could say is one of you were like a thong. The other one of you is sort of like granny panties. You try to figure out which one is which because it's kind of in your vibe. All right.
Are you just leaving this one open for me? No, Padma. We're trying to judge with the living, okay? So Paula, they ask Nona Pipon how was their day, and Paula's like, "Oh, it was rocky. You know, I mean, we were running, but we were ready for the opening." And Nina asked Schwai what his approach for front of house was. Schwai, did you mean to suck dick as the leader of the front of the house? And he's like, well, you know, I just trained him like I trained our staff at Jackrabbit Philly, which is a very well thought out blue as a paint color. So, did it work?
Well, we asked you questions, and unfortunately you told us the truth. Okay. We said, how are you? And you said, I'm tired. Okay. Congratulations. We're all tired. You think I want to be here on this stupid fucking show? You've got to be selling us in your concept. I need more price. Wait, where's Schwai? He literally left in the middle of this. He's gone again. I can't even believe this.
Schwai, could you please not smoke cigarettes while I'm trying to discuss things with you?
Can we get a runner out there to find Schwai? Can we bring him back in? Okay.
So how did it go for Flora and Pafana? And Tristan's like, it was good. You know, we knew what we wanted and we did it. And so Tom's like, well, you want to talk about front of the house, or as I like to call it, bottom of the barrel? Anyone want to come put elbows up on our table?
Massimo, how are your knees feeling after you spent all the time kneeling at every single table in the middle of this quote unquote fine dining restaurant?
You're on your knees more than my son is when he's begging for jobs, mixing iced tea with liquor. So,
wow, you're on your knees more than, well, probably Gail has been ever, if you know what I'm saying. Wow, got salty up here in heaven. So then Massimo's saying that he's like, oh, it was somewhere in the middle of perfection and a car crash. Okay, it was that line right in the middle, just running at that energy. Janet's like, Massimo, okay, I'm also on the business side, in case you didn't know, because I haven't reminded you in 2 minutes. Your concept overall was extremely refined. You have a fantastic personality. I don't understand what Goodfellas has to do with any of it. Am I going to wind up in the trunk of some car? Come on. I'm a made man.
Okay. You know what? You don't like Lorraine Bracco? Just say you don't like Lorraine Bracco.
I don't like Lorraine Bracco. There, I said it.
Okay. Well,
I say this, you know what? Here's the thing. When Lorraine Bracco and I get together, we become broccolini, and that's just too much for people.
Too close to home. So, you know, get more refined. And he's like, heard. I heard that. Didn't like it. Heard it. So, Kristen's like, okay, Flora and Pafana, stay here. Nona Pipone, rest on the side, you fucking losers. Okay. But Flora and Pafana, just because of the extra PHs on 2 words, you win. So congrats. You win $40,000.
Your name was just slightly more pretentious, and that really gave you the edge here. So you're going to get some food. Okay, we're going to talk food.
And Nina didn't really love Lana's dish, because Lana, yeah. I loved her dish. It was so elegant. It needs to be on a menu at your restaurant. It's very Southern.
Nina was the one who was actually most negative about the dish. She's like, I didn't like the raw collard greens or something like that.
And she said the trout was weird too. She just liked the chip and the sauce. So I was like, oh, well, it's kind of a big change there, Nina. But they roll with
Lana,
it.
You should put this dish on your restaurant so that way a reviewer can come in and trash it, and then you can see what it's really like to be a chef.
Yeah, please do it at a Southern restaurant so I can win again. Another year. Best chef.
You should put it on your restaurant, get better reviews, and then you can see how it feels to be extremely talented and passed over yet again.
And so Tom compliments Tristan and Kristen. She said it didn't just feel like a rich chocolate pudding. The texture was beautiful. The sherry vinegar, that was the shining star for me.
And then Janet's like, Vinny, what magic juju spell did you put on that squash? Because it's the best squash I've ever had in my life. He's like, well, it was cured in hollandaise. That's it. Hollandaise. You didn't know that, didn't you?
It's a very special squash. We call that a nomad squash. So I hope you enjoyed it.
It's been around. It's a nomad squash.
So and then Massimo's dessert was also very good. And Gail's like, it was so balanced. There was tartness. There was beautiful textures. The dehydrated blueberry on top. One of the best dishes we've eaten all day, Elbows.
You all won as a team, but there was one chef that really took it over the top for us. For me, it was the consomme, but for everyone else, Nina, Janet, as our guests, you get to announce who that is. Our winning chef for today that contributed the most to the success of the team is Vinny. Just kidding. Of course, it's not Vinny. It's Tristan. I mean, you guys knew it was always going to be Tristan.
And so they clap, and he credits the team. And he tells them that his father passed away, and so it's really sad, and they all kind of cry and stuff, and tell him that his dad is proud. And Kristen's like, "Don't ever feel like you have to be on. This is also real life too." Yeah, look at Gail; she's never on, and it's her 22nd season.
On trend, that is. Yeah, this is well, so last season, what was sort of amusing to me was that toward like in the last third of the season, every time Kristen had to eliminate someone, she started to cry. So this is her first cry, but this was like a very well, richly deserved cry because it was so sad. And I was crying too. I was like, everyone's crying. I'm going to cry too. But it was so sad. And they were so sweet to Tristan, and they really supported him in a really loving way. And, and Gail, they said, sorry for your loss. So then Kristen's like, okay, well, Nona Pipon, you had our least favorite restaurant of the day, in case you couldn't figure it out. Dummies sitting on the side. One of you will be eliminated. Let's start with Schwei. Wait, is Schwei? He left again, didn't he? Is he here? He's tired? Tell us what's going on with Schwei.
So Janet starts with the fruity de mar. The base of flavors was there. I just wanted the flavors amped up, you know? I mean, come on, give me something. Give me a little Goodfellas. Hey, wait a minute. Not you, idiot. Not you. So Nina's like, the second something is under seasoned, that dish falls flat. And so Kristen goes, who executed that on the pickup?
And Schwei's like, Chef Paula picked it up. I had the pass. Oh, I thought you were asking what was Gail doing on a pickup truck. I said, that's her bathtub. Sorry, everyone. I was a little distracted on that one, so it didn't quite come together.
Kristen's like, I needed a more pump up in the aguachili department. Okay, losers. And Gail's like, Bailey, the arancini were fantastic. Great start to the meal. Love the idea of the chorizo, because you were bringing in the nonna and the abuelita. Wow, chorizo. Every grandmother under the sun loves that shit. Am I right? God, what a grandma thing to do. Chorizo. But the cannelloni, I had one frustrating issue with it. The almonds, they were whole. That was strange. It was very, very strange. Gail, every time she lost a tooth as a kid, just put an almond in the slot. So I'm not sure why she's so upset about it now.
That's why for the longest time she was known as Gail Almond Tooth Simmons. Sometimes she feels like a nut. Sometimes she feels like a nut. There's really no other option. So then Bailey is like, well, I wanted to finish in the RoboCoupe. I guess, is that a machine, the RoboCoupe? Is that like a blender or something like that?
How do we not know that? Sounds like something we could waste money on. RoboCoupe. But she didn't have time, so they immersion blended it. And Paula doesn't take credit for that, which I thought was weird, because that was kind of a Paula thing. And Tom's like, Paula, we all had a problem with your weird wet cake. That was a very strange texture. I mean, I'm not really sure what to make of that. It was like reaching your hands into a grab bag and finding Gail in it.
Could you even imagine? So then, wow, I'm just shocked by my own commentary at this point.
I love Nina, because I don't know why this made me laugh so hard, but Nina just goes, it just looked like a soggy piece of cake.
Anyone want to take this one? Janet, you seem to be doing a good job. You want to go for this? Come on, soggy piece of cake. Gail, go, do it.
What is it? Gail's yearbook picture day?
I'll accept that. Dorothy Parker says, ha.
And Nina's like, well, but then, with the progression of the meal, we get to the final course, it's like a screeching halt. And Paula's like, okay, I'll be honest. Look, I'm the executive chef, so everything you guys have mentioned, it could have been fixed by me. And Gail goes, oh, everyone plays a role. Don't worry. Okay? Everyone plays a role. Yeah, but some people fail more than others. Am I right? Rhymes with pale.
Wow. Gail says everyone plays a role, but in the case of Gail, it seems like everyone eats a role too.
Everyone bases their lifestyle around roles. So Kristen talks to Caesar, and Tom's like, no, the short rib, that was braised nicely. There was a lot of flavor there. And Nina's like, but the polenta, that was tight. Like, what was that? Gross.
Okay, there is a joke to be made here about Gail, but I think there's even a limit for me. And so Janet's like, she's like, the churros, you want to deliver on crispy and then light and fluffy, and then ended up feeling like it was dense churros. Dense, stupid churros. It was like that churro came up and got on his knees and took an order from us at the table. Stupid.
Good flavors, though. So Chris is like, do you guys have anything to add before we just completely decimate and send one of you home? And they're like, no. Oh, Bailey's like, well, I'm super proud of everyone on the team, but Paula just really crushed it. I mean, everything except the almonds, no offense. And she kept us super organized. She made sacrifices so our dishes could come to life. And Kristen's like, yeah, Bailey, you're always 5 steps from the grave as it is, so just go ahead and go back. She's like, okay, well, I tried.
Can I say something? I am still caught up on the robot coop. It's called not a robo coop. It's called a robot coop. It's a type of food processor. And I think it's like a high end, like destroys everything in its path thing. Like it's like you put something in there and it's like, I didn't even know. I'm shocked. I never even knew about this thing. And it is, first of all, I love that it's called a robot coop. Like I'm mad. I want a robot coop. I just want to say I have a robot. Like time for me to make a pesto. Time to get out the pesto robot. We have to look into this. Okay, so time for delibs.
They love Nina Pipon's concept. They had good follow through, but at the end of the day, you get nothing for nothing. It's about the food that puts in front of us, and Bailey's dishes were good, which I was kind of surprised because Bailey's looked basic. Like she's serving just another big pasta thing. I wasn't into it, but they were. And they liked the arancini, and they thought that was the best dish. So Bailey is safe. And so now they're arguing on why, should Caesar go home before Paula or Schwei? And they're like, no, Caesar, like at least his churro was decent. And was it Gail who's like, I love churros. I'm a big churro fan. Someone kept calling them churros. It was making me crazy.
She said churro.
Yeah.
I know. I love a churro. And Gail's like, it always comes down to the chef and the manager. And Janet's like, well, the only element that was a detraction from the concept was Schwei. And Nina's like, yeah, there was no interaction. There's just like, how was everything? And then he just scurried away.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping it was going to be Schwei, even though I like Schwei too, but I don't know, Paula has an edge for me. And also Schwei failed at the front of the house so bad that I thought it was going to be him.
I felt like Paula, they did say that they give credit to Paula that she sacrificed her own dishes to help everyone else. And I thought like she was doing a really good job as an executive chef. It's just that the dishes just didn't come together. They were just totally screwed by that timing with the shopping and they never recovered. Whereas Schwei had like a mistake that was so it was an unforced error. Like that was a mistake that the other things could be like, okay, we lost track of time. We were trying to catch up. There was chaos, but his was just like, all you have to do is go over that table and don't say you're tired when you get there.
Well, also they didn't like his dish, but a lot of the stuff was, so people helped him put it together. And the part they didn't like was the aguachile, and Paula helped him with that. So they blame Paula for that, which is not fair because that's his dish. Like that was extra credit for her. So I didn't like that. And Tom's like, well, aguachile should have been seasoned, and it wasn't. And Gail, at least, is like, we're letting him off a bit easy here. Okay. And so Kristen says, yeah, when you're a guest chef, one of the first things you do when you get to the event is you make sure that they're doing it how you want it done. So I'd rather have an underseasoned aguachile than that torta.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And Tom's like, I mean, if she were a cook and had no responsibility other than cooking that dish, she goes home. And Gail's like, well, it becomes clouded a little bit by the amount of work the team really conveyed to use what Paula did as Paula did as for the team as a chef. And Kristen's like, yeah, but like she didn't blend the sauce. She's using aguachile. She just screwed up everything. Nina's like, well, I think the time management definitely got away. So basically it's pretty clear how this is going to go. And Tom gives his closing monologue.
Guys, well, sometimes restaurants open, sometimes they close. I went to Applebee's as a kid when they first opened. It was a mess. They were microwaving the cheese sticks. Nothing was working. Mayonnaise was on everything, but I still liked it because it was about $10 back then. My, how things have changed. Padma? Padma?
Thanks, Tom. That was a great story that I'm going to tell no one up in heaven. So,
let me tell you who didn't laugh at your story. Anne Ranking. Let me tell you why. She has taste. Okay. Go back to your little show, living people.
Guess what Anne said? She said, I'm ranking that story as a 0 out of 0. On a
She
scale
also
of
said,
0 to
"Whoa,
100.
is my stepsister Rank there?" "Oh, yeah, she is. Hi, Gail."
Oh, God. And Bob Fosse came over and said, how about this for a story? I danced better than all of you. It was strange. Didn't have anything to do with anything, but it set a tone. So Kristen,
Up here we call him Bob Fussy. God, that guy never stops complaining.
he's the real Janet Zuccherini of heaven. Am I right?
Oh, so it's Paula. She's out of here. And she's still proud of herself. And she's like, we came as strangers, but I'm coming up with a whole community.
I'm going to miss, you know what I'm going to miss most about Paola? I'm going to miss her little shawl that she just wears during the interviews, just wrapped around her shoulders. I love it.
I like her abuelita shawl. I also like that she hates Massimo so much and is not afraid to show it. Even though I don't hate Massimo, I feel kind of bad for Massimo because he's just so misunderstood, but he also is annoying as fuck, and I get why they hate him. So I support it.
He was too casual with the service, but the truth is he actually ran that room very well. He was really good about tending on guests. And when Tristan was having a freak out about that one crazy server, Massimo was very calm and went and handled it. So he actually did a really good job front of house, despite like his Applebee's service. But anyway, that's it for Restaurant Wars. Another one bites the dust. It's always a good episode, and in this case, an emotional one too. Thanks everyone for being here. Go to watchcrappens.com to get your tickets. Go to patreon.com/watchcrappens to watch us and also to get bonus episodes and things like that. And we're going to catch you on the next episode of Watch Crappens. Bye everyone.
Bye.
Watch What Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors. Ain't no thing like Allison King.
It's always a party on Allison Block.
Our way is the Amber way.
It's the Foster and the Furious. It's Amanda Foster.
She can run my country. It's Angie McGovern.
It's always automatic with Ashley Auto. Put your hands together for Carly Clapp.
Get on the right foot with Chrissy Offit.
She's not just a Sheila, she's a Daniela. Etchels.
We never miss her call. It's Diane Call.
Aaron McNicholas. She don't miss no trickolas.
Hava Nagila Weber.
You'll never hide from Heidi Eleanor Jones.
I go, you go, we all go for Hugo.
Jamie. She has no last namey.
She's our kind of mess. It's Jennifer Messer.
Sip some scotch with Jessica Trotch.
She's our favorite streamer, Caroline Peacock.
Kristen the Piston Anderson. Get a bee in your bonnet with Lacey B.
Bringing the funk, it's Leslie Plunkett.
She gets an A from us. It's Lindsay D. Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino. Fresh as a daisy, it's Maisie McHenry. We love her on the rocks. It's Melissa Cox. Megan Berg. You can't have a burger without the Berg.
This is Livin' with Michelle Vivian.
I love ya, Olivia Williamson. Tastier than Flanderson, it's Rachel Manderson.
She sure is swell. It's Raquel.
Yes, we canna, it's Savannah.
Cast a spell with Shannon Spellman.
Let's share with Sharon Eldridge.
The Bay Area Betches.
And our super premium sponsors. She's VVIP, it's Amanda V. Can't lose when you're with Amy Baldwin.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva.
Let's get real with Caitlin O'Neill.
Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Can't have a meal without the Emily Sides. Let's go into the woods with Guy Tubbs.
Who, what, why, where, and Gwen Pentland.
It's our queen, it's Queen Laifa.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall.
Know your worth with Jason Kurth.
Hail the Cork Master, the Master of the Cork, Jennifer Corcoran. We got our wish, it's Jen Plish.
She's not harsh, she's Jill Hirsch.
She's a little bit loony. Junie. My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo.
She gets an A. It's Kelly B.
We love him madly. It's Kyle Pod Shadley.
We're ride or die for Lisa Ryder Barron.
She's a whiz. It's Liz Sarthy.
Always killing it. It's Lola Alkalani.
The incredible edible Matthews sisters. She eases our woes. It's Melissa St. Rose. We're on the floor with Molly Dorset. There's a chance of meatballs. It's Rebecca Cloud.
She's the queen bee. It's Sarah Lemke. Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony. Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
It's always a good time when you're wasting time with Bravo. She ain't no shrinking Violet Kuchar. We love you guys.